Dzień dobry.
And welcome to the channel, welcome to Beyond Borders, and welcome to the video where we are going to be exploring a bit about Poland and where they are currently going in the world. If that is something that you enjoy and you enjoy watching our videos, then please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. We've just got back from a recent trip to Wrocław where we explored the beautiful city and wow, it's definitely, I can understand why people say it's one of the most underrated cities, not just of Poland, but of Europe. And there's a reason why it was voted one of the best cities to visit in 2017.
Wow, yeah. No, it was incredible. We had so much fun. I mean, the food and the people and the culture and everything. And we vlogged our entire trip there. And we will be posting those videos on our channel. So if you want to watch that and follow the journey with us, be sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss it. We did some really cool things.
And we put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, we did.
So if that's something that interests you, subscribe to our channel, like this video, and stay tuned because we will be posting it to this channel in the upcoming weeks.
So, I must say quickly first, I'm not too positive about the heading of this video.
Look, it's probably one of the most saddest the saddest headings, and it's something that I would not expect right now.
No.
Why Poland is preparing for full-scale war against Russia. It could just be a catchphrase, you never know. These YouTube videos sometimes try and catch and lure people in, but someone actually put this in the comments many videos ago, probably like 10-20 videos ago, and said we should probably watch this video. So that is what we are doing, and we are getting to it now, and we're going to see what it's about.
Gotowi?
Zaczynamy.
There's a new military superpower dawning on the European continent, and no, it's not France, Germany, or even Britain. Poland has decided
Poland.
It's done messing around, and it's arming itself to the teeth.
Oh yeah.
But why is Poland apparently preparing itself for World War III? Russia's invasion of Ukraine has served as an alarm bell for a Europe that for 3 decades was content to let the United States do all its military heavy lifting, while naturally complaining endlessly about U.S. militarization. However, the explosion of war in its backyard has snapped European powers out of their comfortable post-Cold War victory naps, and suddenly the continent has remembered there's a serious military threat right next door, and America is still an ocean away.
Let's just say we've watched a lot of videos about Poland, and we know for a fact that Poland has the strongest army in Europe. We also know that they've been building for 30 years. And we also know that they are not wanting to rely on anyone.
Yeah, because they've been betrayed
And backstabbed multiple times.
by their allies.
So I wouldn't be surprised that they are preparing for full-scale war. Not to say that they are going to go to war.
But preparing to be
ready
and to be able to defend themselves and their people as best possible. And not rely on the help of others.
I think if there is anything that Poland doesn't want, it's that they don't want to be in a situation that they were in multiple times in the past where they were unable to defend itself and then basically lost and were subjected to external rule. So if anything, they are putting a kick-ass army together to defend its country and its people and not have to rely on a single other country to help them.
Go Poland.
Forget the baguettes and berets, it's time to start buying guns again. But Europe can hardly be blamed for dropping the ball on their own
Sounds
defensive
like an
spending.
American
After
thing.
decades of being prepared to
Guns.
wage an apocalyptic battle for global survival, the West breathed a collective sigh of relief, and billions of dollars in military spending was repurposed to civilian projects. Armies were demobilized, budgets were slashed, and a lot of military kit was either thrown into deep storage or donated to developing countries. With the rise of extremism, European militaries focused on waging small regional conflicts with logistics handled almost entirely by the US. The next major war would be one with hugs, or simply not fought at all, as Europe tried to bring Russia into the fold by deepening trade relations with their cranky neighbor. Yet all Europe managed to do was give Russia incredible leverage over them, because Russia wasn't done fighting wars to advance its national agenda. When war broke out in Ukraine, Europe was caught with its pants down, and despite having a combined GDP many times greater than Russia, they cannot outsupply Russia inside Ukraine. Poland was quick to take note though, and overnight the country went on a dizzying shopping spree for all kinds of new military kit. Poland has good reason to want to buy absolute mountains of new tanks and other gear, and that's not an exaggeration.
Do you think, though, that Poland, or do you think that Russia wants Poland? I know that...
No.
Yeah, but you look at the history, and for some reason they always go on land. And
What more land does Russia want?
they're so big already.
Like, why? Why are they being like that?
I think they want it for resources.
But you cannot have everything.
Why don't you go tell the leaders of Russia?
No, that's not going to end well for me. We know this. But no, I don't think that they will touch Poland. Then I will get involved.
We will get involved.
I will be there.
Had Russia's invasion of Ukraine been planned by anyone more competent, Poland could have found itself at ground zero of a new military struggle for Europe, and the major European powers could have done little if anything to help the nation. Britain has been in decline as a military power for decades now, with its military shrinking to half of its size at the end of the Cold War. As an island nation, Britain's most important capability is its ability to send expeditionary forces abroad. And yet, during the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the British military got the nickname the Borrowers for their tendency of bartering for pieces of kit that they were missing. Meanwhile, their navy's been in significant decline, with their ships having to be in effect mothballed so their crews can be used elsewhere. In 2021, Britain's Parliamentary Defence Committee delivered a scathing report outlining significant problems with the Royal Navy, including
I think that the rest of Europe is going to rely on Russia. The rest of Europe is going to rely on Poland to fight against Russia if there is a war.
And you know what I think? I don't think Poland will say no to help.
If I was them, I would charge the British. I'd say, well, if you want us to fight for you, then you're going to pay us in your gold reserves.
He went there.
a critical lack of offensive capability and too few surface ships and submarines. Germany's facing its own significant issues. Maintenance problems from a lack of qualified technicians as well as spare parts has meant that German pilots aren't getting the number of hours in the cockpit they need to remain proficient. The country is also incapable of meeting NATO's rapid response requirements without cannibalizing other units, leaving it in serious risk of being incapable of fighting a protracted conflict. France is about the only European power to maintain a significant military capability. We actually have little to criticize about France, except that its expeditionary capabilities are slightly lacking, but experience gained in counter-terrorism operations in Africa is helping to rectify the problem. We're not picking on Europe unfairly, though. The simple fact is the continent has been coasting on the back of the U.S. military for decades. The Royal Navy prioritized retiring logistics vessels as a cost-saving measure. Why? Because any conflict they foresaw fighting would involve the United States and its massive logistics capabilities. Germany retired much of its ground-based air defenses. Why? Because any war it would be involved in would have assumed air superiority largely thanks to the United States. Since the Cold War ended, Europe evolved into a power that would complement U.S. warfighting abilities rather than be a battlefield force on its own.
The scary thing over here is that many European countries have relied or are relying on America to fight their wars for them instead of actually building up their own military.
Not Poland.
Whereas Poland is just saying, stuff you guys, or we're just going to do it ourselves. And I heard a very interesting discussion the other day among some friends where they were saying that a lot of European leaders are very, very scared for Trump coming to power in the 2024 US elections, because if he comes to power, he doesn't want to send US troops out to fight other people's wars, because he doesn't want to let, like, America have that burden. So from a Republican point of view, if they had to come to power and the US says, we're not going to fight your wars, it puts Europe in a predicament that should a war break out, they're not going to have the support of the US. And that's a scary predicament to be in if you're not Poland.
Yeah. I mean, it's what happens when you rely on other countries for a big, something like that, for war, because they can, at any moment in time, turn their backs on you and say no. And then where are you left?
even if there are treaties and pacts and agreements in place, it doesn't guarantee that
Anything.
they will be there if you need it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where this video is going about. Not necessarily that there is a war happening or it's going to happen, but it's just to say Poland is not like the rest of Europe.
They are well prepared. They're not relying on other countries for military support. They are investing their money in their own military. And you can understand why. I mean, history kind of forced them into it. You know, let's build something to really protect our own people, because for centuries we've been wiped off the map, we've been attacked, we've been, you know, put in concentration camps, we've been destroyed, and they're just saying, no, not this time. And no, we don't need help. We are going to be the strongest. So
I would love to be in that position, like as a Pole, like who just lives in the country. I feel you feel the safest.
You feel safe, yeah.
Knowing that you've got a very good back structure that's supporting you.
I just feel like it's extremely sad that all of these things are still happening, though, that people are, you know, countries are preparing for war and, you know, trying to...
Peace, man. Make love, not war.
It's saddening to me. It really is, because, yeah, it's just not nice. And I just hope that things don't escalate any further. Not that we're going into any politics further, but, you know, let's make some peace.
Make some peace, man, from beyond borders.
Beyond Borders is here for peace for all.
Given the fact that Europe's favorite historical pastime was mercilessly slaughtering each other for thousands of years, this might not have been such a bad thing. Poland has seen which way the wind's blowing, and that it cannot rely on its European allies for national defense. The US military is the most powerful in the world, but it's also half a planet away. And if history is anything to go by, and it absolutely is if you're Poland, then by the time the US Army arrives in Europe in force, Poland would already be a battleground. Perhaps no nation in the world is as cursed as Poland, which has historically served as a convenient middle ground for major European armies to batter each other to pieces. That's because the nation has basically no defensive geographical features, allowing invaders to just casually stroll right on in at their leisure.
It's the weakest point.
That is, they were in a weak spot. Well, were. I think that they're friends with their neighbors now, aren't they? Some of them.
I think they're friends with their neighbors, and we asked our viewers a couple of weeks ago who are the friendliest neighbors. And I think they've got a good relationship. You know, some people owe each other money from World War II, and some people are a bit more, you know, not hostile, but there's a lot more sensitive topics. But I don't think if there was a war, to say that Poland would be invaded directly from, you know, one of their
neighbors,
their direct neighbors, it would come from Russia. And I don't know, I think their defense structure around their country perimeter is definitely beefed up, especially around the Ukrainian war, and they are there on guard, and if something comes their way, they are going to be ready.
Yeah.
Sure. Poland is done being Europe's punching bag and is aiming to field
This video is just like summing up everything right now. Like, they are done being the underdog. They are done being punched around, done being
Europe's punching bag.
Yeah. And it's so good to see.
It's nice to hear.
Field the most capable military inside of Europe. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki spoke to the nation on the eve of its Independence Day, stating the Polish army must be so powerful that it does not have to fight due to its strength alone. Judging by the amounts of weapon orders it's been putting in, this is far more fact than wishful thinking. Poland is raising its defensive spending from 2.4% of their GDP to a whopping 5%. This is more than even the United States. It also puts other...
Do you think that this is purely for prevention?
Yes.
And not for preparation?
Can you not hear what he said right now? They rather, instead of being reactive, they are being preventive. So they are basically beefing up their army to such a point that other nations are so scared to invade Poland because they know they would lose, that basically
and you see,
there's not going to be a war because people are too scared to get to Poland. So Poland is really just making it such a point or making such a statement like, hey, we've got the biggest army, don't touch us, that they're almost preventing and scaring off a potential war before it even happens. Prevention.
Prevention and not preparation, like the title is leading.
Prevention over preparation.
Yes.
Yes.
Other NATO partners to shame who have largely struggled to meet the bare minimum requirement set by the alliance of 2%. This is a long-term commitment too, as the country is determined to double the size of its military by 2035, from 150,000 to 300,000. Those troops are gonna need combat gear though, and Poland is buying it in spades. In exchange for sending 240 Soviet-made tanks to Ukraine, the US cut Poland a deal for 250 Abrams, a significant upgrade to its land forces. But the nation was paying very close attention to the fighting in Ukraine and has made a direct bid to Lockheed Martin to buy around 500 HIMARS units. This was an incredible order and would have made Poland as big an operator of HIMARS as the United States. Unfortunately, the US was itself procuring units to replace those sent to Ukraine and to make even more available to the country. Given that the war in Ukraine has been basically one giant commercial for Lockheed Martin, it's no surprise that other nations were already in line to buy the vaunted guided rocket artillery, even with the US wishing to beef up its own numbers. With the US in effect sold out for the foreseeable future, Poland turned to South Korea for its guided rocket artillery need, signing an order for 288 Chunmoo platforms. Similar to HIMARS, only beefier, the Chunmoo can carry twice as many rockets as HIMARS, though at the cost of mobility. With a significant standing army in the works though, Poland believes the trade-off is worth it. Its rocket artillery will have to do less hiding thanks to major investments in other areas of its military. This includes the Air Force, with Poland signing an agreement to buy 32 F-35s. But Poland shocked the world when it once more
Okay, we understand they've bought a hell of a lot of things, and this video is super fast-paced of everything that they're busy buying. We understand. You guys have bought a lot of stuff. You don't have to prove a point. Like, we know.
I just want to move to Mars because this is scary. I've seen some things here that I didn't even know existed. Like, what?
I tell you what, if you want to be rich, you should probably start like a military operation, selling military equipment.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Selling stuff. But
I would rather not.
Imagine I think most of this stuff going on is all monetary driven. It's all money.
Yeah.
Everyone's chasing money. War drives increase in demand for equipment. It drives an increase in demand for exchange of money, and it's all driven financially.
So are you going to go into a conspiracy now, saying that the people who are creating the machines for the war are trying to start wars so that they can sell the equipment?
I think there are a lot of, I wouldn't say that's my conspiracy, but I do think that global leaders, there's no reason to fight, number one. I don't think, in 2024, why are we fighting? I still don't understand the Ukraine war after even watching that interview with Putin and Tucker Carlson, I think it was.
Yeah.
It dates back 1,000 years. About it was Russian land. Who cares? It's not yours anymore. You got enough.
They do have enough.
So I don't understand it, and I do think that wars in today's day and age are monetary driven.
Yeah.
They're driven to express not only power, but driven to make money and make people richer. There are silent people behind these things that push it. It's my conspiracy.
Small returned to South Korea for multiple military purchases, in effect sourcing almost all of its new purchases from the nation. Purchases include a fleet of 48 F-A-50s. These are meant to replace its aging fleet of MiGs and will complement its inventory of F-16s and soon F-35s. While Poland won't have a major air force anytime soon, it's well on its way to being a significant threat to Russia should it ever make the mistake of crossing into its airspace. Beefing up its traditional tube artillery.
We want the 303 Squadron. We did a video a couple videos back of Bloody Foreigners, Untold Battle of Britain. And we got to know the 303 Squadron really, really well, which was awesome. We didn't know that. And it's probably one of the best videos that we've done so far on Poland.
Yeah, no, oh my word.
So I think, if anything, Poland should have a very strong air force because they've got some of the best fighter pilots in the world.
Some of the best pilots in the world, yeah.
I'll link the video here above, yeah, but it was a really good video.
Worth a watch if you haven't seen it.
Artillery.
watch it.
Poland is also buying 648 K9 howitzers from South Korea. This will make Poland one of, if not the biggest artillery power in Europe, aside from Russia, especially when coupled with its purchase of 288 Chunmu MLRSs. By far
Crazy,
the
just how
highest
much
profile item on
equipment and
Poland's shopping list,
how
though,
much
and
money
one
goes
that has
into it,
really
man.
annoyed its neighbor, is the purchase of nearly 1,000 K2 main battle tanks. The K2
My question is, why is this? Why is the information public? Like, let's say,
They want them to know.
yeah, but
Poland wants the world to know, look at what we're buying.
so my question is it their choice to make it public, or let's say a country wants to secretly, beef up their army? Can they keep it a secret, or is it something that you have to kind of declare? Is it like
I think you can keep it secret. There's nothing that says that you
then
gotta declare it. But like he was saying, they would rather do everything to beef up
and let everyone know?
and let everyone know, hey guys, look at what we got. Look at all our fancy toys. Look at how big our army is. To prevent it rather than go into it.
But do you think that encourages other countries to try and beef up their stuff too, to be as good as Poland?
Well, I'm not a military expert or a political expert, but I don't see other countries adding so much attention to their military like Poland.
Yeah.
They are the only ones. So I don't know. Interesting question though. Maybe one of the viewers can answer it from the audience.
K2 was originally designed by South Korea and is believed to be a highly capable modern tank. Its real capabilities are unknown though, as the tank has never seen combat and the South Korean government isn't in a hurry to make classified data public. Most observers, however, have full confidence in the K2, though Russian defense analysts are puzzled by the design decision to not have the tank launch its crew into orbit upon taking a hit from an anti-tank missile. The main concern raised by Poland's purchase power, however, is that the K2 was specifically built for a war South Korea expected to fight on its relatively hilly terrain, a far cry from the flat European plain. How the K2 will fare here is anyone's guess, and hopefully we'll never have to find out. Poland's
Yes.
South Korea spending spree has made the two countries
I hope we
absolutely
never have to
chummy,
find out.
and that's something that's really annoyed the rest of Europe. Home to many great tank manufacturers, Europe is frankly puzzled at Poland's decision to purchase tanks from a nation half a world away, especially when its logistics will depend on easily disrupted supply routes that literally span the planet. But the decision makes a lot of sense if South Korea plans to break into the global arms market, and if the nation builds maintenance facilities inside of Poland itself. This will secure Poland's logistics needs and open the door to the European arms market for South Korea.
It's all strategic. There's a reason behind it all, and they've thought it through, and that's why the economy is thriving. They have thought all of it through. They don't want to buy arms and ammunition and stuff from European suppliers. Why? I don't think they trust any of them.
Poland's really cool. I think they're really cool. All
Someone-
these decision makers, they're really super clever people.
Someone said that we should move to Poland, and someone asked why are we not in Poland already.
Well, because you had a job here. That's probably the only reason why.
Maybe if I get a job in Poland, maybe we move to Poland.
Which city would you want to live in?
Once I've visited them all, then I'll tell you.
Which city is the best to live in Poland? That's just a random question. I want to live somewhere close to mountains and nature.
Krakow, probably then.
Yes, but we're going to go visit there soon, so... Okay, let's continue.
A deal that benefits both sides. Germany has famously been the United States' most important European ally,
why is
but
it-
now Germany's become nothing
I was wondering why that German guy's bald.
Don't know.
Why do they portray him like that?
Is he bald? Or has he just got funny hair?
Got funny hair.
more than a logistics hub for the American military. With the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, Poland has now become America's most important European ally, and the relationship was cemented by U.S. officials commenting on that fact. Perhaps unsurprising given its proximity to Russia, Poland was the loudest voice calling for Europe to aid Ukraine and threw its doors open to Ukrainian refugees. Its airfields and transport networks were immediately made available to the U.S. and other foreign aid flowing into Ukraine. And when a Ukrainian air defense missile landed in Poland and killed several people, the nation put the blame squarely on Russia for necessitating the launch of said missile by Ukraine in the first place. Given Poland's history and tenuous strategic position in Europe, it's no surprise.
Do you know how tense this is? The fact that a Russian missile has already landed in Poland and they didn't do anything about it. Like, we are on the brink.
No.
I don't want to say it, but
No, you're not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it, but I mean, anything can happen. The fact that Poland remained calm and didn't do anything, it's like scary.
No surprise that it's incredibly invested in the outcome of the war in Ukraine. What is surprising, however, is the incredible speed with which the country has moved to bolster its defenses and the willingness to work with the United States to arm Ukraine. Given its position inside of Europe and the military capabilities it'll soon field, it's easy to see why Poland will soon trump the rest of the European powers as America's most important ally in the region. What remains to be seen, however, is if the nation will go through with all of its planned purchases, especially if the war in Ukraine ends sooner than expected and the Polish population grows weary of the incredible price tags of some of these weapons. Now, go check out NATO World.
Okay,
We don't usually,
discuss politics.
yes, and I think it's something that we're trying to really avoid, but it's, I think, important to discuss what's going on and discuss what's happening and seeing kind of where Poland is military-wise, because we've developed a deep love for the country, and it's nice to see that they're predicting and arming themselves, preventing.
But our channel goes beyond borders, not only from a travel perspective, but to explore all sides of the country. And I don't think everyone just wants to see the glamorous side and traveling.
It's not always going to be happy and like sunshine, and there are topics that have to be discussed that aren't nice to discuss, but sometimes necessary, I guess. It's really also about raising awareness. This is what we want to do. We want to spread the word, raise awareness, and even though some topics might be uncomfortable, I think having an open discussion about it is sometimes good.
I like having open discussion about it, and it's important, I think, to have open discussions about it, because it also breeds new ideas and ideologies and ways of thinking around it, which I really enjoy, and that's why we enjoy doing these videos.
And especially reading everyone's comments, like we get the most insightful comments, and we literally read, I read all of it.
We both do.
Yeah, I read all of them, and some of them we get so much like great information just from the people who comment. It's amazing.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, but if you want to learn about a country and you want to know the ins and outs and you want to know the details that are not necessarily on social media or on YouTube or on the internet, then create a video and let people interact on the video in the comment section, because that is actually where we have gotten to learn stuff that we didn't know existed or information that wasn't there.
Yeah, so, even after the video that we did on the bloody foreigners untold battle of Britain, even after that entire hour and a half, in the comment section there was so much valuable information and so much extra information, and we love it. So please do keep on commenting, please do keep on recommending videos, and even the ones that you don't think might be comfortable to watch and discuss, we are open and really enjoying it.
And if you enjoy these videos, then please like it and subscribe to our channel so that you stay up to date with all of our latest videos that we are posting to this channel. We have got so much more still to do.
And so much to come.
So yeah, but this is us for today. So beyond borders.
Over and out. Do widzenia.